This is GACenter, your look into the Grand Arena Championship matches of over 60 of the world's best content creators. Here are your hosts, the Nev from the Escape Podcast and Ranger from Reality Skewed Gamers.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, the Nev. I'm your host. It's the GACenter. It's season 3. It's week 2. It's interesting. Ranger and I are having some drinks this evening, so it's going to be a fun one. Ranger, how are you this fine?
Notice that I was doing the Family Feud pose where, remember the old Family Feud where they would and the Ranger family. And then they would move and stuff. Family. Yeah, that's what I was doing there. So I hope everybody gets it and stuff. But glad to be back. What a week we had, man. Oh man. Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long week, brother. Boy, the reason me and Never drinking is because we are beyond exhausted. I'm still on fumes. I'm still catching up to some rest. But you know what?
Okie dokie, let's get stuck into some stats because we had a very
we're here at the GACenter. Well, I mean, if that's what we're here for.
And we start with Sephironis. Sephironis 2-1 for the week. Round 1, solid win. Fleets for the win. So, good start. Round 2 was tough, but the fleet hold is the savior again. Round 3, Seth could not clear a tough defense that featured some relic bugs that he could not get past. And you know what? Sometimes that happens in the lower divisions. You come up against the relic bugs and you just don't have the depth in roster to clear them. So 2-1 for Seth this week.
All right. We move on to remember, Nev, the 5th of November. As V for Vendetta.
Treason and plot.
As V and Vendetta comes forward to kick the ass out
I
of
know
all
of
the
no
people.
reason why the gunpowder treason.
Get out of here. I'm not doing the whole guy thing. Get out of here. I know you're British, but I'm not doing all that. V for Vendetta. What a week. 3-0. He says, round 1, my opponent set a well-planned defense while still saving good teams for offense. His history showed that if someone beat his JKL and got through the back zone, he never bothered attacking. I beat his JKL. You can imagine what happened next, Nev. And then round 2 says, in Division 6, it's fairly common for GLs nowadays, and I get grouped with someone with the GL pretty much every week now, but 2, come on. So this guy had both Ray and SLKR and had a history of putting them on defense. So my path to getting the W was to put down an even worse defense than his. In the end, I got two of his zones while he couldn't clear a single of his. So another victory for V. And then round 3, I faced a guy going hard on defense, placing his 3 best squads in the front zone, hoping I fell. He didn't. Needless to say, V for Vendetta kicked ass. Outstanding job. 3-0 for V.
And we move on to Stone, who is back
there
to his
we
winning
go.
ways.
That's what I'm expecting from Stone.
That's what we expect from Stone. Round 1 was a win, obviously. Opponent failed to clear after throwing 7 teams. A paltry Kira Nest team. Some people do struggle with Nest. Round 2 was a win and a DNS, so obvious victory there. And round 3... you can't do this in the lower divisions. Opponents set too much on defense and could only clear half of Stone's board. Stone, being the competitor that he is, got the full clear and the victory.
All right, we move on to Marco.
Polo.
I tricked you, Nev, because his name is Greed Gamer. The Marco days are over. That's in the past, just like Marco Polo. Greed had a really good week this week. He went 3-0. He says round 1, no full clear, but got the W. Nothing special. So nothing to report there, Nev. Round 2, most special round. Face off against a SLKR opponent without a Galactic Legend on my side. He went heavy on the D, Nev. It seems like the only team he saved was SLKR. No full clear on his side, but I won with banners. So he fell into the trap. It's a trap. Round 3, nothing special, no full clear, but still got the W. And Marco ends with decent week overall. Well, I would say yes. If you go 3-0, that's a good solid week, Marco. So I'm sorry. The Creed Gamer, let's get it right, went 3-0. So outstanding job.
To Infinitum
And okay, I just get through the report now. If he went 3-0 again. Wow, what do you know? Infinite went
What a
3-0.
surprise.
What a
Round one.
surprise. Woo!
Opponent went FU in both front walls to the point that even with Slacker on offense,
It doesn't matter, man.
couldn't full clear. Luckily,
What?
though, luckily
he got the win, though.
Yeah, luckily his opponent also got destroyed on defense with 8 battles spent across 3 separatist teams. So win without the full clear. Round 2, opponent went too light on defense, like really light. He used CLS Han Chewy for 3 individual 56 banner solos, where he only set 2 of his best teams on each front wall.
That doesn't work against Infinitum.
Yeah. Slacker on defense didn't get cleared. Round 3, opponent placed most of his best teams on both front walls. Infinitum did get stuck on his front wall gas, but then obviously his opponent got stuck on his front wall Slacker. Obviously Infinitum's teams held twice, while his held none, and that gave him the win for a 3-0 week.
So he went 3-0 again.
3-0 again.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, we move on to Canadian's best rock and roller. I'm talking about Mr. Andy Beads. He loves Metallica and stuff. Good Canadian whiskey and maple syrup up there in Canada with the rock and roll. Andy Beads had a 2-1, better week. 2-1's pretty solid. He says 2-1. Poor Andy. He says 2-1 again. Failed to defeat my opponent in the championship round. It's starting to become a trend. As soon as I read this, Nev, I was like, oh no. That's what happens. That's what happens, eh? He says round 1 came down to fleet battles. Knowing that my opponent didn't have anything to beat my negotiator fleet, I threw it on defense. That's all she wrote. Round 2 was another win with my opponent. Once again, not having anything to beat my negotiator. Are you seeing a trend here, Nev? Negotiator. Negotiator. Round 3 was another loss. Opponent one-shot full cleared me. It was going well for me until I misplayed a Basil-led Jedi team. Well, it was all over but the crying. And then he wept. And it was all maple syrup that came from his eyes, Nev, as the Canadian lost. 2-1
Crying maple syrup, just like a true Canadian.
Yeah, good Maple Leaf stuff for action right there. So there we go.
And there is Division 6, Vendetta, Infinitum. It's going to be a good battle between those two.
Going to be good.
It's going to, well, I say it's going to be a good season battle.
Don't forget about Stone.
Well, no, you didn't let me, see, I was going to say, it will be a good battle between Vendetta, Infinitum, and Stone if Vendetta doesn't get promoted. He is so close to the Div 5 threshold.
Is this a joke where I say, how close is he, Nev?
No, it's not a joke. Okay. I wasn't queuing you up for a joke. I was just, saying how close Vendetta is to get promoted to. And then he can terrorize everyone in Div 5.
Well, these things happen, so yeah.
But speaking of Div 5,
it's looking good. Oh, I like the transition there. Go for it.
We start off with Scribe. Now,
what did Princess Scribbles do this week? All right. Another
Scribbles.
fail.
Princess Scribbles had another 2-1. Round 1, he did outsmart his opponent. Set a drastically different defense. His opponent always placed Rayhan Chewy and Gas 5 first on defense. So, Princess Scribbles knew that he would struggle against his Basti JML Watt team based on what he puts on defense. He never placed it on defense. But he did get 4 battles. In 3v3, you cannot afford... Yeah, in 3v3, you cannot afford to drop battles, and obviously his opponent was then only able to clear 2 zones. Win for Scribe. Round 2, the loss. He lost this round because he had a little bit too much to drink and got
That's
ballsy.
What I'm saying, yeah.
He got ballsy with a solo and lost it. In the end, his opponent one-shot full cleared him after saving everything for offense. Efficiency player. He won by 1 banner, even though Scribe had only dropped, even though Scribe dropped the battle, the dude still only won by 1 banner. So, needless to say, he threw away victory there because he didn't concentrate and he let the alcohol get the better of him. But in round 3, easy dub. Guy couldn't clear his Rayhan Chewy, dropped 2 battles and gave up. Cleared fleet and then Scribe just destroyed his defense. 2-1 to Scribe.
All right. All right.
Ooh.
Nev, it is time for our most favorite German, Renaud the Fox. I
Oh,
have
yeah.
compiled all of his stats for your pleasure.
Ausgezeichnet.
I don't know what that means because I'm just doing a really bad German accent. So there's no kink shaming here. Was that kinky stuff you were saying, Nev?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what Nev just said was let's look at the stats in Rub on Nipples. All right, let's do it. Renard the Fox, man, he's on fire lately, Nev. I got to tell you, man, this guy is kicking ass. I am enjoying it. 3-0 says a pretty toast. It's hard to read this because it's so funny. He says pretty disappointing bracket opponents this week. He was not impressed with his competition this week. He says round 1 auto deploy, win. Round 2 opponent multi-tap like crazy and clear 2 zones, win. Round 3 opponent cleared 1 territory and another win. Thus you can see in the stats 23 holds and 0 losses. I'm surprised Renard the Fox didn't play another game at the same time he's playing this one because he had no competition. 3-0 for our man Renard the Fox.
German efficiency.
I know, right?
Mr. Bojangles. Oh, you know, we did have a couple of people we were missing stats,
Mr.
but we got reports from these people,
Bojangles.
so we know how they did. Mr. Bojangles with a 3-0. Round 1, very defensive battle. Neither competitor was able to clear the South Territories, but Mr. Bojangles was more efficient and he got the win. Round 2, another win. But the hold came from ships this time. He meant much weaker on defense, knowing that he had a big ship advantage, and he was able to use that ship advantage.
Nice.
And he got the full clear for the win. Round 3, ship advantage again. The ships held again. He got a defensive hold on his GG team as well. Couldn't clear the malevolence in the back, but he easily won on banners. 3-0 for Mr. Bojangles.
So Mr. Bojangles is not full of ships.
No.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I saw what you did there.
You can
like
you can
shitload of content.
Yeah, see, I tied it into crumb. Crumb. All right. Moving on to hold on to yourself here, Nev.
Oof.
We're going to the one, the only, the world famous Kate Gaming, and Nev, she is like a star, burning bright in the star. Super famous, superstar.
She's on fire.
She is really amazing. Kate Gaming 3-0. Round 1 says went up against an auto set defense. I mean, she got the full clear. There's not much to report here. Round 2 says got the 1-shot full clear. Opponent dropped a few battles and wasn't able to get past her Jedi Knight Luke. Remember that because that's her thing. Because in round 3, she got the full clear yet again, and opponent could not get past Jedi Knight Luke. So Kate is doing it right. She's doing it smart. Kicking that ass. 3-0 for Kate Gaming.
We move on to Geek Girl, who did not have a good week.
She gets
Rough
a pass.
Week.
She gets a huge pass this week because she was
Went
working
1
with
and
me.
2.
Yeah.
Round 1 up against a decent defense. She got stuck on Night Sisters with like the best RNG she's ever seen. She was completely one-shotted by her opponent, so lost that round. Round 2 had an auto set defense and was able to completely full clear
Well, there you go.
It's so easy when they don't attack.
That helps, yes.
It helps. Round 3 faced an FU defense. She wasn't able to clear the front wall, and she found a new team she hates. On 3v3, Vader, Thrawn, Gideon. She now officially hates that 3v3 team.
Well, these things happen. All right, we move on to the new Lord of the Sith, Darth Laquita. I don't know how I feel about Darth Laquita. It's like the Sith don't quit. Nev, they die, but they don't quit. So I don't know how I feel about the name. Like, so maybe it should be Darth Lastompus or something like that. I don't know how you feel. So, but that being said, 3-0 for Darth Laquita. He says 3-0 for week 2. Unlike other reports here, he says, I feel the matches were really challenging and resulted in close fights. Round 1, I'm always one good defense short of what I want to put down. I turned up the Triumphant as a defensive team. I also used a Trick Malevolence team to try to steal some extra banners. The Triumphant got one hold, and Malevolence got a full hold after 3 battles. So, and he full cleared. Very nice. Round 2 says CLS held on the back wall. Opponent put down quite a few strong defense, including Jedi Knight Luke bottom front. I used Troopers and my Dark Trooper. God, he's so good. Dark Trooper, man. Relegate him. He is so stupid good. And that's all she wrote. Got the full clear victory. As soon as he said Dark Trooper on this report, now I was like, yeah, that's a win. That's a good win. Good win right there. Round 3 says, my gimmick Malevolence fleet held again. Opponent had a super efficient clear, very high banners. I had to get a full clear to win. He says, despite my efforts to be efficient, the opponent had to score 10 more banners than I to win. They couldn't do it. Darth Liquitter. Lord Darth Liquitter wins 3-0 for Darth Liquitter.
And there is
Ooh,
Division 5. You
look who's at the top.
I know. Look at that. We've got Renard the Fox obviously riding high because the guys, that's that damn German efficiency, you know. But look who's snapping at his heels.
K Gaming, man.
Gaming from the Bounty, and he's snapping at his heels.
Representing.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, this is gonna be
what happens.
Yes.
I'm
excited.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do right about now is we are gonna take a short break, and we will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Patreon Leaderboard. I'm Paul Anthony, as heard on the Escape Podcast, and right here on GACenter, we bring to you the Patreon Leaderboard. Let's just jump right into the stats. Big Country Mags goes 3-0 with 7,911 banners. Somebody call 911. 39 wins, 2 losses, 2 holds. His report says, okay, this week was basically cut and paste. Round 1, I full cleared, opponent no attack. Round 2, slugfest, full clear. And then round 3, full clear, no attack. As a side note, rounds 2 and 3 were streamed on Twitch. Hashtag shameless self-promotion. He owes Ellie a nickel for that one. D goes 2-1. 5,916 banners, 18 wins, 4 losses, 1 hold, no report. So nothing else to report. Dark Helmet goes 1-2. 8870 with 46 up, 7 down, 5 in the hold column. Dr. JoJo goes 3-0 with 8,777 banners, 777. Lucky or not? 45 wins, 9 losses, 7 holds. For strong, 1-2 this round. 6,429 banners, 30 wins, 3 losses, 3 holds. Interesting to see what he's doing here. Hot Sauce. From the devastating 1-2 last week, he goes 3-0 this week with a whopping 9,802 banners, 51 wins, 5 losses, and his opponent banged his head against the wall 30 times. 30 holds for Hot Sauce. He's included here because he's not a streamer, even though he is a big part of the community. Check out hotutils.com for more information on Hotbot. Schnarman, 2-1, 7,493 banners, 36 wins, 1 loss, 1 hold. Not bad. Now, slight announcement. I'm on the Patreon leaderboard now. I've given up streaming competitively. So, I'm still going to stream other games and all that. But as far as GAC, I've given up. It doesn't bring joy. My stats for this week, and this will explain why it didn't bring joy. 0-3. 7,692 banners, 36 wins, 11 losses, 8 holds. Let's take a look at the final leaderboard. Patreon leaderboard. Dr. JoJo 6-0. BCM also 6-0. Now, Dr. JoJo is a few divisions higher than BCM, so he's going to have banner advantage. But Dr. JoJo slips up once and BCM doesn't. He will claim the crown. Both of them, as I said, at 6-0. Now, Dark Helmet, Hot Sauce, Schnarman, 4 Strong, and D all at 4-2, while some guy named Paul Anthony holds up 2-4. Do you guys want to be included next season, next month, because these Patreon seasons are only 1 month? You want to be included here on the boards and go up against me and have bragging rights over me? You're more than welcome to. Patreon.com/theescapepod. No cast. Sign up at the Kyber combatant level or higher, and we will get you in on these boards. We'd love to have you. So check it out today. That does it for me. Be nice to each other, damn it.
SWGOH.GG is your one-stop site for the raw data behind the game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. From complete gear lists to intuitive stats behind all of your favorite holotable heroes. SWGOH.GG has it all. With a .GG account, you can get a complete view of your own roster, see how you match up against other players, and even check out the history of your own Grand Arena Championship matches. You can also see what your opponent used on you to give you a better understanding of counters and team compositions to improve your gameplay. Did you know that they also have some great Patreon features as well? Ad-free browsing of their site, guild information, and manual information requests are included in their 3 levels of Patreon support. Check out the site for more details. That's SWGOH.GG. Unleash your holotable potential today.
Okay, welcome back to the show, everybody. It's time to move on to the other divisions. We're going to move on to the other divisions, and that would mean starting with, you know him, you love him. He's the heartthrob of the Outer Rim. It's Urza. Urza with another 1 and 2. You know what? I'm starting to think that maybe having a few beverages every single time he does
I watched.
might
Yeah,
be
I've
affecting...
watched. Yeah, I watched a few of the streams lately, and the cognitive function of the brain is not there for Urs. So yeah, and this week was especially rough. So a little bit of pass for Urs here,
but always entertaining.
Yes, never not entertaining.
Always entertaining. Okay, let's move on.
All right, we move on to our man Telamad 92, who had a solid week, 2 and 1. He says both rounds 1 and 2 were very similar, but couldn't full clear. While I did give me the easy win. Round 3, this is where it happens, Nev. Says, on the other hand, was meant to be an easy round, but I dropped the ball between being sick for a minute, and then he took a nap, apparently. That didn't help either. And he says, woke up with 20 minutes on the clock, didn't have enough time to clear enough to get the win. So the reason Telamad did not get the 3-0 this week, Nev, is because of sickness, nappy time, or sleepy time, however you want to say it, and he ran out of time to actually clear his opponent to get the 3-0.
We'll say sleepy time. It sounds more sympathetic.
Sleepy time.
Sleepy time. Sounds more sympathetic towards him. So yeah.
Sure. Let's go with that.
Okay. Let's move on to the llama. The bounty hunt.
She gets a pass.
The bounty hunties, apart from Kate, didn't have a particularly good week. So
they're a little
round
busy.
1 loss. Now, here's the thing. You know, this sucked for the llama round 1 because it was a tie. It was their first ever tie.
No!
And they lost on GP, so oh no.
1A, no!
1A. Yeah, unfortunately. And then round 2 was a loss. Their opponent full cleared them. And then they got stuck behind a C team and could not clear. But the llama does not like C. The C is the llama's nemesis.
Doesn't know. She's told me.
The llama does not like C. But the wooden spoon was avoided. The walk of shame nullified with round 3. Victory was running all day and almost forgot to attack. Luckily, their opponent auto set and then couldn't clear the llama with what they had left.
That kind of happens, yeah.
Yeah, they managed to clear the bottom 2 territories with 30 seconds to spare. 1 and 2 for the llama, avoiding the wooden spoon.
There we go. All right, we move on to this guy. This wanker right here. Oh, God. I feel like I should do a British voice to mumble through all this nonsense. All right. The Nev, in all his glory, went 3-0 this week, and he wanted to remind us all that he got a triple crown. God forbid if we don't mention that on the stream. He said, the Nev, aka the guy that's on the stream right now, says scouting the opponent turned out to be useful. That is kind of useful, Nev, if you do scout out, if you do some reconnaissance and stuff. Says, as I discovered, they tend to set an average defense. That's all we have to really say for round 1 because Nev won. So yeah, they didn't even bother. Round 2 says this opponent did much the same thing as round 2. So again, Nev recon, they didn't bother, and so he one shot. It's nothing much to report here. Round 3, good roster but slow mod. So I placed a weak but fast defense. How the hell do you select a weak but fast defense? I don't know how you have to explain that one to me.
Low gear, but with low gear.
No, actually,
mods.
that's a rhetorical. I don't give a crap response.
Okay.
Now. All right. So the strip banners, and it did just that, along with a solid hold from GR Fleet and my one shot, full clear, triple crown. We're mine. 3-0 for Nev. Nev, I'll give you the floor. Go ahead.
I've got to give
Go
it
ahead,
up.
Your Highness. Go ahead and talk about how great you were.
Got to give it up for RNGesus, all the RNG gods, the dodge meta for staying away. Thank you.
Don't forget about Hermaphrodite. So let's move on.
Let's move on. On to
Spartan,
who had a 1 and 2, and for the first time, I get to do this. Shame on Spartan. Spartan did not present us with a report this week. No, despite the tag, I did send a reminder, a friendly one, a jovial one. But Spartan didn't give us a report. So, strange week. Obviously 1 and 2. Not a lot of wins there. Quite a few losses. Bad week for Spartan, unfortunately. Bad week for Spartan.
I feel like he got kicked into the pit there, Nev. I may be wrong about this, but I have a bad feeling that Spartan. Oh boy. All right. Well, let's move on. So we don't want to talk about it. All right. Rico Suave, the sexual man himself, went 3-0 this week. A much better improvement. He says there is a common issue with my opponents this week. Either they could not full clear me or were extremely sloppy. I must have done something right without even trying. I think it worked. So Rico was tying this into luck or the force, or I'm going to go with the force, Nev. I don't know really.
Yes, go with the force.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the force. He tapped into the force or something. I don't know what the hell to say here, but that was his response, not mine. So I'm just going to try to interpret it. But 3-0 for Rico. Very nicely done, sir.
And we move on to round B. 2-1 again. Not a great start, but to be fair, he completely missed a winnable match in the second round due to having to work quite a bit. So real life stumps.
I know how that goes.
Playing SWGOH. Real life always stumps SWGOH. So quite a bit of work. It was a winnable match. The 2 wins that he did get were fairly easy. And now that he's got a little bit more time on his hands, because obviously, school's out for summer, he's looking forward to moving up the charts.
Let's sing it together, Nev. School's out for summer. There we go. We got it. Yeah. All right. Next up is
the Tickle Tank Master.
He is such a Tickle Tank Master, Nev. It is amazing. The man with the brightest hair in Star Wars. Although we need a new picture, Jigabachi, because I know that's not the color of your hair right now, my man.
Yeah,
and I watched, so I know we need a new pick. All right,
if you're gonna pick Jigs,
if you're gonna Vidal Sasuna, we need new picks. All right, you can't just send one and then that's all we go with. Because the purple.
Just send me a photo of all of the colors that you do your hair, so I can have multiple stack cards. And then all you got to do is say, "Oh, it's red this month.
Right.
Oh, it's green this month. Oh, it's blue this." Then you can just tell me what color it is. Okay.
We need these people to work with us, Nev. I don't know. We're not asking for much. Just pictures.
No, we're not asking for much. No.
And I'm sitting. You're drinking bourbon. I'm drinking sake. Let's have some fun. All right. As I take a sip of this delicious sake, rice wine. If you don't know what that is, Jigabachi 3-0. He's 6-0 this season. He wanted me to know. And he says mega boring week. 2 no attacks during his rounds this week, Nev. I don't know what that's like, but it must be nice. He says round 1. Auto set. He put auto snooze, man. That's just what he put. Round 2, I skunked the Rebel Fleet battle and got stuck behind it. This is what is keeping me from possibly bringing in the top 50. Well, you have no one to blame. You have no one to blame but yourself, Anakin.
You did this yourself, Anakin.
Yes. And then round 3 says, opponent had 2 teams I struggled with. He took both offense and defense and got stuck on my D using them. Smart people doing smart things smartly. You know, it's like that song, Nev, people who love people, need people, that kind of thing. He's smartly. He's just inserted smartly and used the hair. The hair wins out 3-0 for Jigabachi.
And we move on to...
He went 3-0. Move on. Let's go.
Yeah, he went through.
Move on.
He submitted a report that said, I may not get my report in. So I don't know what it means, but yeah.
I do. Can I explain? Fort Mort has to work. And during the time where you have to submit, he's literally at work. So
he's literally at work. So
you know, yeah. So
he did. He did. I mean, he did have like an interesting round 2 against a 740k opponent with like 600 undersized. But you know, Fort Mort does his planning and he gets his win 3-0 at Fort Mort.
All right. Moving on to the true Lord of the Sith, Darth Kermit, as I represent and lay the smack-a-thon on some candy asses, as I do. Yeah. And can you smell candy asses? I sure can. All right. Darth Kermit, representing his namesake, went 3-0. Another good solid week from Darth Kermit. He writes, he says 3-0. This was an odd one. Had 2 people set super weak defense and let me get almost max points. We can tell. We know Darth Kermit. Round 1, opponent couldn't get through my Darth Revan and CLS. Round 2, opponent didn't attack but left a super easy defense for me. I don't get that one, Nev. Like it's like I just don't get that. Round 3, opponent went super heavy offense, but I was much more efficient and won easily by almost 100 banners. I mean, you know you are in trouble when you set a weak defense, try to go offense, and lose by 100 banners. So a 3-0 for Darth Kermit. Yay!
Oh, it's Mr. Awesome. It's Calvin Awesome. 3-0.
Let me guess. I'm going to predict here, Nev. I haven't changed the slide. He went 3-0.
He went 3-0, but...
Oh, my God. I'm like Nostradamus. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, but look at the stats. He did not get 3 full clears, which opens
the door. No. He didn't get 3 full clear. Oh, no. Well, so the world ending.
Round 1, absolute layup. Opponent with 300k in lifetime banners, no history. He expected an auto deploy, so Calvin went full offense. Turns out the guy only left 3 teams on defense, including a Relic Knight sister team. So yeah, he got the feats and he got the he did full clearing. But when you only place 3 teams on D, you're going to have the resources.
Round 2,
this opponent made up for the last one, nearly full defense. He dropped the battle, Calvin. He just didn't have the firepower to one-shot everything. And round 3, another opponent who put down more than he should have. He struggled to get through 2 walls, but Calvin found himself trying risky stuff this round, and he dropped another battle. This time, it could have been avoided, but he'll take it.
All right.
To Calvin.
Well, I mean, it's Calvin. What's his win streak on? Like 9,000 or something? I don't know.
I have no idea, but you know, he could break. He has the potential to break the 72 record.
He's on his way, man. It's pretty impressive.
He's definitely on his way.
All right, we move on to the other Fett. It's not Django. It's not Boba. It's Boma. And you better say it correctly, Nev, because he will disintegrate you.
Yeah.
Boma took the time to write out this really long explanation of what happened. I don't need to read all this, Nev, because again, Boma kicked the crap out of his opponents. Everything I read was like, well, they did this and then I did this, and it's just a slaughter. Look at the stats. Those are ridiculous stats. Boma dominated. He only had one thing he tried. It didn't go the way he wanted, and he still won by a lot. There's
24 holds is impressive for anybody.
I mean, get the hell out of here. Boma, just total domination. 3-0, representing the Mandalorian faction the way it's supposed to be done. Good job, sir. 3-0. I salute you. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm not going to read the Gettysburg Address of response because they don't deserve it. You just dominated. That's all we have to say.
And there is Division 4. Can you tell me who's? Oh my God, that's me at number 2. Look at that.
You'll mess it up. You'll mess it up.
Don't jinx me.
I'm not jinxing you. I'm just being honest. I know your history, Nev. You have that week where you're in the hot tub, you're drinking too much bourbon, and you derp.
I'm not going to derp.
You're gonna derp.
I am being deadly serious this
No,
season.
I think you're gonna derp.
Deadly serious.
We're not reading chat, but if we put in
season.
chat, who's gonna derp?
I am not gonna derp this season.
People are gonna say you're gonna derp.
Super serial. Super serial.
Well, Excelsior then.
Yes, Excelsior. Okay, let's move on to Division 3 because we've got a top half of 6 and 0s. So there's not much to talk about other than me being in number 2.
No.
There's 3 people between me and 4. That makes me happy. Anyway, let's move on. We're on to Division 3. Yeti.
You're so proud of that. I can't believe it. Get the hell out of here now. Let's move
Yeti
on.
with a 3 and 0, but
what a surprise.
Yeti does what Yeti does. He
does
hits his Triple Crown. Round 1. Bit of a mismatch. Guy had 3 GLs, but like everyone was this week, he was significantly behind on mods. He opened 2 of the 3 rounds from the previous week by soloing Relic Bugs with Slacker. Didn't really look much past that because, you know, he had inferior mods to Yeti. So Yeti placed Relic Bugs on the bottom. He failed on it and quit, resigned after 1 battle. Anyway, he one-shot the board.
Nice.
Kaboom. Round 2, another serious modding mismatch, despite the fact that his opponent had 3 GLs as well. He set a similar defense to round 1 and shot his ground down. Sadly, Yeti's Rebels dropped a fleet match to the Empire and he had to clean up. But his opponent couldn't clear the slacker in the back. Round 3, a closer matchup where he only had twice the +20s and the G13s were a little bit closer. He's the first one-shot full clear this season. The only person to one-shot full clear Yeti. I mean, obviously Yeti won, but, you know, he's giving props to his opponent for one-shotting him. So 3-0, Triple Crown for Yeti.
I didn't hear anything you said other than SLKR in the back. What's that like? Like, I'm behind you and do what I do. I'm Kylo Ren. I'm shirtless. All right. Moving on to here comes Wrangler, and he didn't have a 3-0, and he's one tough customer. 2-1 for the Wrangler. Nev, let's see what the Space Cowboy. What happened? He said 2-1 this week, 5-1 this season so far. Well, I figured. This is round 1. Nev, he said he dropped the battle against Crew and lost to a one-shot full clear from my opponent. Dang nabbit, them the breaks there, boy. I tell you what, isn't it darn damn. He said that's what I got the loss from. But he came back strong, Nev. He persevered. The Wrangler represented not only his name, but the genes that he's also namesaked after. And got round 2 says, failed in clearing shits, but my opponent never attacked. I don't know if that's something you should be proud of. He said round 3, nailed the one-shot full clear. Felt bad being a dick and sending Baslet, JML, and Watt in the one zone that my opponent couldn't get past. Winner, chicken dinner, 2-1 for the Wrangler.
The Wolf.
You said it in the Wolf, Nev? Gee, that's all you had to say, sitting in the Wolf. Jeez.
The Wolf with a 2-1 this week.
I take back everything I just said.
Yeah. Round 1 found himself up against an opponent severely lacking in the mod department who made some questionable choices on offense. So the Wolf played to this guy's weakness. He got the full clear but dropped tons of banners, so it was an easy efficiency win for the Wolf. Round 2 was busy, so didn't get to change his defense or research his opponent at all. But luckily, this guy had even more trouble with defense than his previous opponent. Didn't clear a zone, and the Wolf got an easy win. Round 3, and
what
he was
happened?
yet again feeling lazy, and he let his defenses roll over.
Was he wearing his Robin Hood? Was he wearing his Robin Hood costume when this happened?
I'm sure he was. Anyway, he was rewarded for his complacency with someone who cares enough to change mods around to stifle his opponent's ability to plan. Changed up all his plans to deal with a 355 Shack T on a JKL team with GCal. Yep.
I've done this yourself,
You've
Anakin.
done this yourself, Anakin. A DR trio with Faster Malik, Double GL, etc. After a valiant effort, came up 3 batters short. Overall, a great battle, which came down to a few missteps, but definitely some lessons learned. 2 and 1 for the Wolfman.
All right, you down with RKP?
Yeah, you know me.
All right, we got our I don't know if you know this there, Nephew's another Canadian. He's French Canadian. I can't do the French Canadian voice because nobody cares. But would you like some maple syrup? RKP, our boy, says, Ranger, wake up, Ranger. How dare you, sir? He says, come on, don't punch me in the junk, please, like you did last stream. Well, if you're nice to me, RKP, I won't do that. So let's see if you wrote nice things or I will punch you in the junk. All right, says round 1, another auto deploy to start with. Nev, what do you think happened? Yeah, it was an easy win. Yeah.
He won?
Yeah, he won. Yeah.
He won.
Round 2 says a worthy opponent, but I was prepared. An easy win. So I get nothing there. It says round 3, Sunday GAC, outside in the sun with some booze, exciting fights, no mistakes. The booze hadn't kicked in yet. Phewy. Full clear win. He says back-to-back 3-0. Let's go. He's saying, let's go, Nav. Now, do we think that RKP can keep this up? This is an impressive win. 3-0. But look at those losses. RKP's lucky. He's not 2-1 or 1-2. So RKP, you were nice to me this week.
Got to keep it up for 36 rounds,
better
buddy.
keep it up.
36 rounds.
36 rounds to go. Don't make me punch you in the junk. I will do that. There will be penis punching going on if you don't keep your stuff in order. So let's go. Let's go. That's my let's go. Let's go.
Slugmug with another
Slugmug.
2 and 1. Yes, round 1
Nice.
took 5 battles to take out R7, EPBSF, and a Malik team, but then picked it up by getting 52 batters versus a GL Ray. So,
Wow.
tale of 2 battles there. Worked very hard and ended up clearing everything but 1 team, at which point he had nothing left to take out his Night Sisters. But his spirit was broken when his opponent full cleared him. First rounds have not been kind to Slugmug. They really haven't.
They really
But
haven't.
he perseveres and he comes back. Round 2 used Gas Chewy 5s versus a Slacker, but only managed to take out Fost and Red. Used JKR Hoda for the cleanup. The rest was an FU defense consisting of Gas, CLS, DR, Padme, and just about any team you hate to see on D. Full cleared him, and for some reason, he only took out his Grievous team and then conceded the match. So, win for Slugmug. Round 3, nothing
Grievous
too hard.
does that, yeah.
Yeah, nothing too hard on D. Couldn't beat the finalizer fleet. No Slacker on D, which surprised him as well, as his latest history shows this opponent always placing him. Despite having lots of attacks, he failed to clear the back row and never reached Slugmug's fleet. 2 and 1 for Slugmug.
All right, we move on to another new contender for GAC this season. We've got Heathen, because he believes in the old gods, Nev. The new gods can kiss his ass. All right, that's the way we're going with this. All right, he's a heathen, and I'm proud to be a part of the heathen atheist movement. I'm just throwing that out there for SWGOH. All right, heathen. He's representing Nev. This guy is on fire, man. Another 3-0, 6-0 this season. Says current win streak at 94 matches. I can't verify that. Those are his words, not mine. But if that's the case, salute, sir. 94 in a row. I mean, the 94 matches, I probably win 83, 84 with like 10 wins, 10 losses, 5 due to the game crashing. So, good Lord, dude.
There's more pressure when you're part of GACenter.
Yeah, it gets a little bit tougher. It says round 1, my opponent said a respectable front wall defense, but the back zones were extremely weak. I've run into a lot of those, Nev, and yeah, that didn't look. Yeah, a lot of. Oh boy, don't do that, guys. Don't put BS in the back. That's just no one likes BS in the back, Nev. No. Round 2. Yeah, round 2 was the same thing. It says almost a carbon copy to round 1. Listen, the theme of this story with Heathen is don't put BS in the back. No one wants to see that. All right, we want some competition. But round 3, he gets to the final. It says, face an opponent who said array and prey defense, and it worked. I got stuck on his array, and I was only able to clear half his board. I sunk 12 battles into his array trying to get it down, but 10 of the 12 were burner squads. Sadly for my opponent, even though he stopped me from full clear, he wasn't able to clear any of my zones. So the other story is, if you're going to set a tough defense, I don't know, maybe has some teams for offense. Just a thought, Nav. I'm
Just a
maybe
thought, yeah.
scientific on this. I may be crazy going Mr. Wizard here, but if you're going to set a tough defense, I don't know, maybe have a team or two that can actually clear a zone on offense, because that's kind of important. You know, I'm crazy on this, Nav. I've been doing GSC a long time, but let's try that tactic next time. So, but regardless, 3-0, very impressive from Heathen.
And we're on to Grid, who is on fire at the moment. He's
That
on
man is the damn torch right now. He is
21 winning streak at the moment. Round 1.
I don't know what's happening.
Round 1, 3 GLs to his 2. 770k lifetime to Grid 660. A very heavy offense, high efficiency player. He was not going to be able to outbanner him.
Unbelievable.
So he devised a defense.
It was unreal.
2 GLs on the front, and he managed to do exactly that. Now, he couldn't full clear the Slacker on Grid's back wall, however, but he also put Slacker down. So he had a very, very dicey Vader win. You should go to his channel and check the clip. It's good. But he got the full clear and he moved on. Round 2 kept a similar defense, but not quite as heavy as he was on even grounds with Galactic Legends with this opponent. He full cleared Grid, but dropped 3 battles, and Grid got the flawless victory. Booyah! Round 3, his proudest moment in GAC history, the greatest victory of his career. He went up against the numero uno player in Division 3. Marine Valhoon, 880k lifetime, 3 GLs to his 2, a high efficiency offense player. Grid knew he stood no chance, you know, just going toe to toe, going banner.
Unbelievable good strategy from Grid. I am so impressed.
He set the heaviest defense he's ever set. Sith Empire, Slacker, CLS, GG on the front, and then Gas on the back wall.
Yep.
Grid was terrified that this was not going to work. He needed his opponent to do exactly what he had always done, and then just hope that he dropped a battle.
Full cleared him and only dropped one battle.
The homework paid off. He set a similar defense. He dropped the important battle.
Yep.
Grid, flawless victory, took the win. Bravo,
by
sir.
11 banners. What a match. That was
absolutely, it was a good match. It was a very, very good match. I highly recommend going back and watching.
You should watch that. That was
replays.
Unbelievable.
That is somebody that is not only on his game, but just it was he was, you know, he sacrificed drinking on the grids, you know.
No shoeies were imbibed.
No shoeies. No shoeies. He went in clear of mind, did the business. 3-0. Bravo, Grid. And there is Division 3.
Look at that.
That is a tough division.
Yes, it is.
That is one tough division. That Division 3. It's not going to be easy for people. This.
No.
Very, very tough. Very, very tough. Anyway, let's move on to the behemoth that is Division 2.
Oh, you want to do Division 2? Well, I got to tell you, Nev, it's not starting off well for us in Division 2 because he's my friend. I love him. It's hard for me to talk about this, Nev. I need a moment.
Was it bad or was it bad? Is it bad enough for shame, or do we show some sympathy?
No, we show some sympathy because Vince Hill is just Vince Hill. He's totally committed to dark side, and I've talked to him about this, but you know, I've had that intervention. He's slowly working his way back to being legitimate with legitimate teams, but the stats speak for themselves. I don't even want to read this. I read through this and I was just like, oh no.
Ouchie.
Yeah, the wooden spoon. for Vince Hill, but I don't believe he deserves 0-3. Now, he was part of the mini movement. He was busy doing other stuff. So give him a little bit of a pass, but 0-3 is 0-3, Nev, and it's hard to talk about. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's just move on. He went 0-3, the wooden spoon. It just, when you love someone, you just hate seeing when they're going down a path you can't follow.
Well, we'll move on to happier thoughts. Thisk. Big ass 3-0.
Nicely done.
Oof. That's a lovely score. Thisk, first opponent, round 1. Opponent failed to clear ships. Magical Empire fleet strikes again. I've been having a very magical Empire fleet myself.
Oh.
Didn't drop any squad battles, but, he dropped an Empire fleet. And Thisk hit him with a flawless victory. Round 2, opponent did get the one-shot. Thisk was expecting a higher score from him. He similarly one-shot, but cleared for 29 extra banners. So Thisk must have set a pretty decent banner stripping defense. I mean, he was a bit cheeky and he hit a Galactic Legend in the back, but the front wasn't compelling enough to draw out the teams that he would have needed to draw out for that Galactic Legend to be effective on the back. So he just needs to change his tactics. Win and a flawless victory. Round 3, opponent did the stare down. Until after, did a stare down until after Thisk started a little more than an hour to go. So this guy started with 45 minutes to go. Thisk was a little concerned about how to proceed through his front hinged zone and decided to go safe, but opened himself to possible difficulty on the back. It ended up being the correct call with no significant reason to save for the back. He was able to one-shot, full clear everything. His opponent tripped up early and then got stuck in the back squad zone, after clearing ships. 3-0, triple crown for Thisk.
Well, speaking of 3-0, we got the playbook, aka Fatal, as they say in Canadian French. There, Nev. We have a Canadian French theme here tonight. Really was round 1 we need to talk about, Nev. So with the playbook, since round 1 was a rematch looking for revenge against a Wolfpack member, that's never easy because that's Team Money's guild and Gom's guild. So that's it's coming correct. So they'd gone a full finishing style holding every team, which I considered to be an easy way to beat my defense. I took a gamble and went even harder, and it paid off with stopping them from full clearing with 2 teams left on the board. Sometimes holding 4 GLs in every major character except DR isn't enough these days. He's absolutely right. Says round 2 and 3 were straightforward, with both opponents being able to break my 2 front walls and the holds racking up. He said I had to multi-shot a few teams to make up for how much I was leaving on defense, but I felt I was in control the whole time. A solid week of wins from the man that puts everything on chalk. Now speaking of playbook, Nev.
And we move on to Snow Space Station.
That's
a moon. A really
what a surprise
round. So Moon had a really boring week.
Good God.
Boring.
Look at all those holds. Good God.
Poor matchmaking.
Next.
Opponents. His opponents weren't trash. They were just glaring differences.
But I mean, good Lord.
I mean, he kept himself entertained.
All right,
playing at a disadvantage, and he just used 1 GL on defense, and non-GL teams declared defenses this week. Round 1, he held the line in usual fashion. Vader took down Rey, win. Rounds 2 and 3, they didn't even get to C on his back wall, as Darth Revenant CLS just destroyed his opponents in the front row. Here's some hoping. He's kind of keeping his fingers crossed for some more challenging matchmaking in the next few weeks. But yeah, so far this season, it's been legit trash. Full Moon.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Moon. What a surprise, 3-0. All right, we move on to Rambam, who, Nev, I'm proud to report, actually submitted a report.
Oh, so I'm not hitting the shame key.
No shame key.
Okay, no shame key for Rambam.
Yeah, 3-0 for Ram. It's funny, Nev. It's weird. When he goes 3-0, we get a report. When it's not 3-0, we don't get a report. I'm just saying.
There's a pattern for
I don't know.
There?
Yeah, I'm not sure, scientifically speaking, if we can infer anything from the data that we've collected on this nonsense. But the Mace lover, and I mean Mace lover. If
Yeah.
Rambam could, if Mace was a real character,
Inappropriate Mace lover.
and very inappropriate Mace loving action going on here with Rambam. He says, since he did do a report now, I have to read it. He says, none of my opponents were able to full clear me this week, while I was able to full clear all three. I don't even want to read the rest of this report, because if that's the first sentence, why would I read the rest of this? Rambam, leave us into suspense. Why the hell would I read anything if you... Why would you say that, man? Let me read that again. None of my opponents were able to full clear me this week, but I was able to full clear all three. Why would I go through round 1 through round 3 if that's the first sentence you put out, man?
Give us drama,
Scott,
suspense.
throw us a freaking bone, Scott.
Drama and suspense.
I need an old priest and a young priest, and we need to exercise the evilness of Rambam's infatuation with Mace Windu, perhaps. I'm just gonna leave it at that, because as soon as I read that first sentence, Nev, when I was looking at this, I'm like, only Rambam would have his head so far up Mace's butt that this would be the report that I would get. So I'm not even going to continue on. So there you go, Rambam. Leave us in suspense so I can actually read what happens and not have the first sentence explain everything that happened this week, you knucklehead.
And we're on to Ranger Drake wait a moment. 2-1 for Ranger this week. First 2 rounds were full clear wins. No problem. Round 3 was, however, a battle of the Titans.
Boy, was it
with
ever.
Ranger versus Jag, 830k lifetime score versus Ranger at 820k lifetime score. And it lived up to the hype as they both full cleared each other in a slugfest. I had the win, he says. He had the win in the palm of his hands. But for some reason, his brain turned off and he derped a GK fleet. And that was the difference, ladies and gentlemen. Considering all that went on this week, he'll take the loss and the 2-1.
Nev, it caught up to me, man. I completely derped this. I had Jag, one of the top players, after the second to last round was done, I was ranked number 6. He was ranked number 7. That just tells you how crazy a matchup this was. Got to the finals, and I kind of derped a little bit on the CLS. I tried something I hadn't tried before just to try it out because I knew my defense got some hold. So I was like, okay, I can play around with some stuff. Darth Revan versus CLS Chewie. Attack Chewie, don't attack CLS. I learned that lesson. I went in there with Imperial Troopers, one shot. I was like, I should have done that from the beginning. Got the fleets, crushed Empire, not a problem. Got to GK. I had a Relic 8 GK versus Relic 7 GK. I don't know if I was just fatigued or I don't know what happened, Nev. I went after Rex. I don't know what possessed me to go after Rex. I completely derped on this round. And the sad thing is, Nev, I could have won it on the second round. I almost pulled it off because I had done so well on all the other attacks that I could have won this, but the turn meter got me. So I lost by 7 banners. That's how
makes a change
bad
the turn meter getting you rather than the dodge meter.
I completely derped this, and I don't have an explanation. I don't know what possessed me, Nev, to go after Rex. I just like, hey, it's Rex. Let's attack him and not Anakin. Boys and girls, children of all ages, if you're out there and you're facing someone, kill Anakin. Just go after him first, especially
Always
if you have
go
a
for
Relic 8. Yeah, go for Anakin. It might be good. But he was a really cool guy. He knew it was going to be crazy. We both knew it was going to be crazy. It was a hell of a match. I enjoyed Sunday GAC, but I was exhausted, Nev, at that point. I'm surprised I did as well as I did. I expected me to get my ass kicked because I just looked at this guy's GAC lifetime banner. I was like, I'm going to get stomped. But then he messaged me like, I was expecting to get stomped by you. So that's how it kind of worked out. But we'll get it back. I mean, it is what it is. With the week that we both have, Nev, I'll take a 2-1. I really will.
So, how did the Nooch do?
The Nooch? Did you say the Nooch?
I said the Nooch.
The Nooch went 2-1 this week. He says 2-1. Nev, he's so disappointed. The Nooch is disappointed right now.
Nooch is disappointed. Why is Nooch
He
disappointed?
went 2-1. He let me down. That's why. The Nooch knows that I'm watching and reporting on this stuff, and he was very disappointed. He said round 1 and 3 went according to plan. That's not the problem here, Nev. This is one Round 3 with a rare Phasma defensive hold. That's how good round 1 and 3 went.
Okay.
Now, however, for the Nooch, round 2 was a complete meltdown for the Nooch. After a failed Darth Reverend mirror attempt, why oh why, he says, Nooch went on tilt and lost big. He didn't lose, Nev. He lost big time.
Big. Nooch went on tilt, did he?
He went on tilt, just like if you're playing pinball, and tilted. And he went 2-1. And that's why his score is baloney.
Many a good gacker has gone on tilt before. I myself have gone on tilt. I've seen it in many, many competitors. It happens.
Yeah.
You just got to deal.
I blame Finn. I really do. I blame Finn from our stream.
Moving on, you've got a muddy bum in front of you.
Well, you know, Mud Bum in his little mud clay hut with the little mud clay people and his little mud clay land and the land of mud went 2-1 this week. And Mud Bum reports a 2-1. He says the only difference between this week's GAC and last week is the middle opponent. Says round 1, we faced the same opponent as last week, blah, blah, blah. Outscored, completely dominate. Round 3 was kind of the same thing. I'm not going to read this because he wrote a little bit more in depth, but no, round 2 was. So I don't know why he wrote this. This is what I'm confused about Mud Bum's report. It says the middle opponent, but it's not the middle opponent according to this report there, Nev. It said round 1 and 2 were easy. It was round 3, Mud Bum. Maybe we should explain that a little bit better. It says round 3 faced the same opponent as last week in the finals and had some bad RNG contribute to a low score, which cost me this loss. It says I tried to SLK our bait strat for defense, but unfortunately the opponent was just better and was able to win handily and efficiently. Meanwhile, I wasn't able to get days on Chewy. Cost me a drop, and Negotiator did Negotiator things to my malevolence. So womp womp, says Mudbum. So, Nev, his first sentence was a lie. Mudbum is all about lies in the land of mud. It wasn't the middle opponent. It was the third opponent in the final round. So, Mudbum, let's get our story straight. So, when Ranger reports on it, he doesn't look like a complete ass.
And we're moving on to Lalinda. Changed his strategy second week of fights.
Nicely
now
done,
he has more teams to attack. So, he got more banners. He's changed things up so that he's got more offensive capabilities, so he's able to get more banners against his rival, and it definitely paid off this week. The changes made him and gave him a very, very good week. A triple crown is not to be shirked. Nothing special, 3 flawless victories, 3 opponents that just could not hack. The Spanish conquistador Lalinda.
All right, Lazy, she shot on a turtle. Went 2-1 this week, Nev. And we don't have the stats up there, but he did do a report.
We got a report. Excellent.
Round 1, opponent only made 1 attack, didn't even bother. So we can move on because he got the full clear. Says round 2, 31-65 score, and I'm doing even better. My opponent failed on my crew team, and that was great because that secured him the win. Says they couldn't even clear my Beskar Mando team, and no full clear for him. Round 3, Nev. This is where it all fell apart. Started my first 2 battles strong. Then on the 3rd Rebels, lost to other Rebels, and that hurt. It hurt him deeply, Nev. The turtle was hurt. Just threw off my mojo, and then I ended up not being able to clear his Jedi Luke team. The Jedi Luke team, we've heard this before, Nev. It's a sad day for me because he full cleared me. 27-85, 31-32. He handily beat the turtle.
What happens when you lose your mojo? But Kyoe clearly didn't lose his mojo. 3-0, triple whammy for
next.
Kyoe.
Kyoe went 3-0. What a surprise! 3-0. He kicked the. Look at the. Oh my God! Every time I look at Kyoe's reports, this is ridiculous. Go ahead.
Round 1 faced 3 GLs on defense and did some different battles against the GLs that he hasn't done before, and it worked out very well. Easy full clear, and they got stuck on crew and couldn't.
What a surprise! Wow.
Round 2, this was a battle of banners against an excellent player.
Let me guess.
Both saved their GLs for offense, and they both one-shot each other Keo won by 7 banners. Very, very close. Round
Can
3
do that
battled the
against
same.
him.
Round 3 battled the same opponent from his very first match of this season, if 3v3. They are an awesome opponent. It was fun to have a rematch. They went heavier on defense by putting 2 GLs on defense this time
Didn't work.
and hiding C in the back. They could not get past Kioi's Ray this time and got stuck on the front wall. Kioi was able to use his Vader counter against C for the easy win, but Mothma lost for the very first time versus GG.
Mothma.
Possibly because of user error. So
Well.
he's willing to admit that, you know, he might not have used Mon Mothma properly against GG, and that was his loss. 3-0, triple whammy for Kioi.
Well, many Bothans died to provide that GSC win. Yes. All right, we move on to Go Cubs, the opponent I have faced in GAC in an epic battle. He went 3-0. He's representing Nav. Really good stats here. He says round 1, pretty straightforward opponent, got through clean while they dropped 3 battles, so 3 derps. Round 2, I one-shot everything. Fleet, yes, Fleet of all things got 3 holds to secure the win. I've had that happen here recently, Nav, but unlike Go Cubs, he didn't derp, and I did. Round 3, my only dropped battle of the week came in Fleet, but my opponent had already dropped a few battles that it didn't matter. He says, went with setting a slightly tougher defense this week, and it paid off. He says, I put my big boy pants on. It's a Negotiator and SLK on defense. I also tested a Mauled Basla team, yada, yada, yada. It all leads up to 3-0 from Go Cubs. 3-0, representing the family. You know, if you lose, I'm going to say you suck at eating hot dogs and punch you in the face.
And we move on to Thaddeus.
What is this?
Thaddeus with a 2-1, but Thaddeus
What?
gets shame.
What do you mean shame?
Didn't do a report.
You son of a...
Shame.
Going nerdy with a
Shame.
2-1. A
Shame.
decent week. A good
Shame.
week. A solid week.
Shame.
The Mike Zero of the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes community
Well,
with a good week. 2-1 for Thaddeus.
I mean, you know, Thaddeus, if you're not going to do a report, we can't give you props. And if we can't give you props, then you live in shame. You know what? I think we should play the shame thing for him. What do you think, Nev? Should we do the shame thing?
I've already taken Thaddeus off. I played the shame.
Did you?
Yep, I played. He was
I meant
shamed.
like full screen seeing Xerxes in shame. I mean, this is.
You mean
I wanted the full Monty.
You mean this. You mean this. You mean
Shame.
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 It's well deserved.
Okay.
Should be ashamed of yourself. Hey, Nev, guess what Endall did?
Did he do his thing where he destroys everybody and then people weep at his feet as they fail to clear him?
Yeah, 3-0. It was a tougher week for Endall, though. He says round 1 opponent said an FU defense. That's why you see kind of some of the losses there, but it didn't matter. He got the win. Round 2, guess what happened again, Nev? Another FU defense.
Oh, people are learning that, you know.
Yes.
People are learning.
Things are happening. And then round 3, not really much of a... I mean, it's kind of the same story. This guy went a little bit more offense, but it worked against him because Endall got the full clear. They both full cleared, 31-36 to 31-32. And that's really all you need to know is, I mean, whether you try to go FU defense or if you try to go full offense, you're just setting, you got to be smart about, I mean, you're just setting yourself up.
To be single digits, to be within a single digit victory of Endall, I mean, that's still impressive. I mean, most people don't even get close to him. They're like,
yeah, but that's because this guy went like,
away.
I know, but you're just setting yourself up for failure. You can't play Endall's game. You got to be smart about the teams you play and things of that nature. And the only reason he doesn't have higher banners, Nav, is because he got the full first 2 round FU defenses. But it doesn't matter because you're just, you know, he's going to set a crazy defense. You're going to have to face some crazy stuff. And he went 3-0 again. So, hey, Nev, 3-0 for Endall. Let's move on.
And we're on to
oh no,
Dr. Zeppers, who kind of came off. I mean, he had a great first week, 3-0. Tough.
I kind of
Tough
expected
week
this.
after the season
Yeah.
opener. Big ding in his confidence. So RNG hates him this week apparently. So round 1 win, fairly even matchup.
Sure.
Full clear, 1 on efficiency. Round 2 loss. Another fairly even matchup. Full cleared, but he just had too many double taps, tripped up on too many opponents and lost on banner efficiency. And then round 3, his opponent had all his GLs at his disposal. I mean, interestingly, put no GLs on defense. So it did allow Zeppers to pull off a great full clear score of 31-71. But, his opponent saved all his GLs, so he was able to score 31-72. So he lost by 1 stinking banner. Really, really discouraging. But,
That's horrible.
when it's that close, you know that things are going to get better. If you're losing by 70, if you're getting your butt handed to you, then you should be discouraged. But if you're only losing by that small fraction, all it's going to take is just that
rough,
little bit,
man.
that little
Damn.
bit more efficiency. You will make it. I expect to see more from Zeppers moving forward.
Well, Dr. Zepper, salute, sir, but damn, that's rough, man. That is really, really, really rough. So God bless you, sir. All right. Moving on, we've got, well, hold on, my thing just went bananas. DPK, who went 1-2. So not a good week for our man Deadpool Kyle. He says round 1 was easy claps. I guess he's giving his opponent the little, little golf clap. He says opponents misplacing a front row team. Well, Nav, when you don't place a team front row, that kind of leads to you losing.
Yeah, you're giving up 80 banners immediately.
Yeah, that's not plus the zone. It's not good. No. Round 2. Man, say, how do you want to play? Say, man. Round 2 says I played pretty well. Opponent outscored me literally by 1 banner. I didn't even play as a great defense. This loss stings, but it is what it is. Nev 31-52 to 31-51. Dude scored a 31-51 and lost by 1 freaking banner.
A lot of that going around at the moment.
What the F?
Yeah.
Round 3 says my husband wasn't in it at all. Dropped a Night Sister battle. It just didn't work out for him. He basically at the end 31-23 to 31-49. He says, is 3v3 over yet? I might be letting Lazy run away with our rivalry. Sigh. Let's sigh. Yeah. So
we move on to DB125.
After
3 seasons, he has found his form. He had an abysmal season 1, an abysmal season 2. He seems to have found it. He does have GL Ray now. That's definitely going to be a big help. Anyway, so round 1, solid defense with Ray, DR, CLS, Chupio, and others. Fortunately, he dropped 1 on his worst 2 defensive teams and his fleet. So yeah, DB easily went through with first-time clears. Couldn't have got a much higher scorer if not for some, stolen banners due to the foresight spam from Radis that happens with everybody. Round 2, one of his long-time YouTube subs brought it heavy, but had a total nightmare on DB's back wall with 6 drops to the trademark trusty Mando team, the same one that also made Gritty and Scribe hesitate. This prevented him from full clearing. With the pressure off, he breezed to an ultra efficient win. And round 3, opponent opted to keep the bulk of all of his top teams for offense, but still tripped on 3 different teams, so required 3 double taps. Once the front wall was down, he turned up the efficiency for a nice overall score, another win, and a triple crown. 3-0 triple crown for DB.
Very, very, very nice. So we're very proud of you, DB. He's gonna mess it up. I'm just waiting. Nev, I can't get excited because I know something's gonna happen. So, all right. He's a nice British guy and he likes to mess up. All right. Ando, I think is the next right. Is that
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin? I'm sorry. I my thing just went bananas here. Why is Bitcoin not here? Well, because everything in Windows just went bananas. All right, well, let me just pull this one right from the third point of contact. 3-0 for Bitcoin. You know, when you're looking for cryptocurrency in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, why don't you check out Bitcoin? Bitcoin, all your Star Wars Galaxy Heroes cryptocurrency needs. Hey, Nev, Bitcoin went 3-0. Are you shocked?
No, I'm not. I'm only shocked when his girlfriend, when he's fighting his girlfriend.
That's the only time he loses, or when something really, 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 really weird happens. So Bitcoin went 3-0. Not much to report here. I had the report, but I'm trying to fix my Windows right now. I was just trying to update. Oh no, never. Okay, I got it fixed, but for some reason it's not showing me, and it's being weird. So I've got it squared away, but we'll be good for the rest of the stuff. But yeah, Bitcoin 3-0. It's what he does. That's why he has one of the best records ever in GACs.
He does what he does because he does what he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
On to Bulldog with another 2-1. 2-1 had some fun getting aggressive and trying all sorts of solos. In round one, he got six solos. In round two, he rolled the dice and lost Nest to a Phasma lead first order team. It ended up costing him the match as his opponent eked out a win by banners. Now, in round three, he tried a rematch of Nest versus the Forced Order, hoping to get better RNG.
So the first time didn't really.
Yeah.
Okay, he
so
didn't learn his lesson.
If at first you don't succeed,
drink.
Try and fail again. Yes.
No, just drink. Just drink alcohol. Just
anyway,
what are you doing?
His defense held, so it didn't cost him the win that time. He says he's playing like an idiot this season, but he's having a lot more fun from it.
Hey, that's all you got to do. All right, we move on to my man Ando 90. Ando, my fellow Ranger brother from another mother, went 2-1 this week. Nav. He says round one, my opponent smashed his face on my defense, but other than that, pretty uneventful. Round two says facing the best opponent of the bracket, and I won, but he can't remember the specifics. He must have been drinking that night. Nav. These things happen. And then round three says now here's where things get interesting. I rearranged my defense because this guy play style was very efficient. So I moved back to sitting on hard defense. But because of that, my failure to execute on my side on offense, I failed to clear. He does as well, but he gets more zones. Tough break. So Ando overthought it, and it cost him 3-0. So he went 2-1.
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it.
There we go.
So there we have the bottom half of Division 2. As you can see, everybody is desperately scrapping to avoid the bottom. Van Seal is currently propping it up, but Rambam, he needed that 3-0. He is going. There is going to be. This happened. This happened in Season 1. There was a constant battle between Rambam and Ando, being the top of the bottom and the bottom of the top. So when we move on to the next one, I bet we see Ando close to the bottom.
You think so, or you think?
Oh no, Ando's there. Ando's in the bottom half. I'm looking at the wrong table. Ando's in the bottom half. Oh, so Rambam, you should have chose Ando as your rival this season because you're beating.
Well, he didn't. Yeah, mistakes were made. Rambam went for somebody a little bit higher outside of his zone of winning, and I don't think it looks good for Rambam to catch this person, Nev. I'm just throwing that out there. So,
well, let's see how close people are in the top. See, that's just ridiculous. Look how many people are undefeated.
All these people from the Premier League are in the same division as me. Same shit is happening.
Hey, you're still in the top half there, Ranger.
I know, but I mean, I derped, so I deserve to be on the very bottom of this. So,
yeah, but you've only lost once.
I know, right? You lose once, and you're like a
Once.
bottom of
Well,
the
look,
tube.
half the if you were matching the round wins to half the people that are in the top half, you'd be above them because your banner difference is far superior to theirs.
I know, but
So all you need to do is, you know,
like not
get
lose.
back-
Yeah, I get it.
get back to your winning ways. Get back.
Yeah, I got to quit derping on GK. That's
back
kind
to
of
your winning ways.
you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Anyway, we're just going to take a pregnant pause here so that we can run a
Oh
break,
my
and we'll
God.
be right back.
Are you a member of Team Paul or Team Neil? Maybe you prefer story time with the llama, or dabble in the buttery side of the force with Biscuit Weasel. Or maybe you like the escape pod talents from Down Under like Heinzie and Scotty. No matter who you support, you can get one of my designs from the Escape Podcast merch store. Just go to escapepodcastaways.com, click on the merch link, and it will take you to the TeePublic site where you can support me, Mrs. Anthony, also known as Critty K. Also be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast's Discord server weekly to vote for my latest shirts in the Design Derby on Woot. Links for both of these are down below. Thank you for supporting the Escape Podcast.
Does your guild want to tap into their full potential in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Yeah! For as low as $1 a month per guild member, your guild can unleash the power of the game in ways you never thought possible. Ooh. Track your arena movements, guild progression, and much, much more. Contact Shitty Bill and get one of his shitty bots on your server today. Just look for him on our Discord server and tag or message him for more information. The link for our server is below in the description. Shitty bots, don't let the name fool you.
SWGOH.GG is your one-stop site for the raw data behind the game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. From complete gear lists to intuitive stats behind all of your favorite holotable heroes. SWGOH.GG has it all. With a .GG account, you can get a complete view of your own roster, see how you match up against other players, and even check out the history of your own Grand Arena Championship matches. You can also see what your opponent used on you to give you a better understanding of counters and team compositions to improve your gameplay. Did you know that they also have some great Patreon features as well? Ad-free browsing of their site, guild information, and manual information requests are included in their 3 levels of Patreon support. Check out the site for more details. That's SWGOH.GG. Unleash your holotable potential today.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, that was quick.
That was a quick break. So a quick word from our sponsors, but we are moving on with the big boys of Division 1 and a complete reversal this week for Warrior, who went 3-0 in the first week and 0-3. Now, here's the thing. I watched one of his streams this week. And he brought it on himself. You have done this to yourself, Anakin.
You have done this yourself, Anakin.
He didn't do it to himself once, though. He did it to himself twice.
No.
Not once, but twice. On 2 separate occasions, on 2 separate rounds, he went in with Imperial troopers, but instead of grabbing the Dark Trooper, what did he do? He grabs the Death Trooper.
Why?
On 2 separate... It was a mistake. He didn't mean to. He thought he was selecting Dark Trooper.
Wait, how do you make that mistake? They don't look the same.
It's in the clip reel. It's in the clip reel. He starts the battle. So
Warrior!
He selects his team. He starts the battle. And then when his opponent attacks, he's like, oh my God, I've done it again. I put Death Trooper instead of Dark Trooper. So he admits that he did it to himself. He totally admits doing it to himself.
I thought my derp was bad, but that
to all those people, to all the people in his community that watch him live stream, if he picks Imperial troopers, just spam chat, spam the chat.
Dark Trooper. Don't let him go into that battle. And oh no, God, how did? Oh no.
Anyway, let's move on. We have many more competitors in Division 1.
Zareth went 3-0. Next.
How
I really
did
don't.
he do?
it's just he's 3-0, man. Look at the stats. I mean, he just sets up his opponents and kicks the shit out of them. I don't know what more you want me to tell him. The guy always wins. He never loses. I read his stats. He reads his opponents like a damn playbook, aka the playbook, aka Fatal, better, and just dominates. It is unbelievable. Everything is like, well, I knew my opponent would do this, so I did this, and I set them up, and they fell for it, and they fell for it.
That is an unusual amount of losses for Zareth.
Yeah, but he was kind of he's in his experimental phase.
The experimental phase.
Yeah, he's trying some new things out. He's exploring himself and throwing that out there. But I mean, when you're that bored because you win all the time, Nav, these are the things that happen. He went 3-0 again. He was bored. Is basically, I mean, he wrote all this stuff. I'm just like, yeah, bro, you're bored. We have got to find you like an opponent that can actually give you a battle worthy of
someone worthy.
Someone worthy
opponent.
He did want to put out, Nev. He did want to put out. I got to read this. # Alt Lives Matter, Nev. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah. He always throws that hashtag in there.
Yeah, I always wanted to say that. Yeah.
On to Tassanex. 2-1 this week. Round 1, opponent with 8.9 million GP, but very little speed depth. He set down a fast non-GL team, and he was only able to clear one zone. Smooth sailing for Tassanex as he one-shot his opponent. Round 2, pretty much the same as round 1, except his opponent cleared all squad zones, but after 2-shotting Executrix, he was stopped by 3 attempts on Negotiator. So dude's got a good ground game, but when he's up in space, you know, he's all over the place. Round 3, opponent has a history of using 3 GLs for attack consistently. So, you know, Tassanex went out of his comfort zone and he set 3 GLs himself. He only had 1 drop in squad, whereas Tassanex had a drop in squad and then an unlucky one with home 1 versus Negotiator. So he ended up with the loss, 2-1 for Tassanex.
Well, we move on to solo bass because or solo base, however you want to say it, Nev, because he doesn't believe in teamwork. He just believes about doing things solo. And now, Nev, these are the kind of stats I expect from solo. He went 3-0. He had a rough start of the week last week, but he's 3-0. He says opponent tended to put down, this is round 1. He says opponent tended to put it down light defense. So I placed a hard defense, and guess what happened? He won. Round 2, yeah, these things happen. Round 2, opponent placed 2 GLs on defense. They couldn't clear my ray in the back. You know, it's amazing about these competitors, Nev. They just read their opponents, and guess what? Round 2, victory. Round 3. He says, I placed 3 GLs on defense, then one shot his board. Nev, he was too scared to attack.
Oh my God.
3 GLs on defense. He didn't even try. 3-0 for solo, as he said, without a sweat. This is the kind of stats.
He puts the fear of the RNG gods in his opponents. That's what he does.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm. On to Indigo. Indigo with a great week, 3-0. Round 1, his opponent got stuck on half of his defense, and you know, Indigo had saved plenty of offense, loads of firepower, full cleared his opponent. Round 2, a bloodbath. Opponent got stuck on Boba Fett IG Queel in the back, and Indigo just went through his board. He did drop a couple of battles along the way.
This is nice.
Yeah. I mean, he actually got stuck on his opponent's Boba and Han Chewie squad in the back, but you know, both cleared everything except for each other's Boba squads. So yeah, Indigo a little bit more efficient. And round 3, easy full clear. His opponent was a DNS. Who doesn't show up in round
the finals?
3? The finals. Who doesn't show up in the finals?
Solo's opponent didn't attack either. So
true. Yeah. And we're on to you know who.
The sexy Buddha himself.
You know him, you love him.
The lightsaber builder, the harem owner and operator, Sir Loki from RSG. Surprisingly, Nev, round 1 was the loss. He says got matched up with a Maul guy. He gets because he's in call. He gets matched up
Yeah.
with Maul a lot. My guild. He says he sets up a tricky defense that has me bleed banners. They basically equally one shot, but he wins on efficiency 32-47 to 32-56. And Loki was super bummed, but Loki said not to worry. He got round 2, kicked that ass, and then round 3. Actually, no, round 1 was an easy win. I'm sorry, I got this wrong. Round 1 was the easy win. Round 2 was the one where he got faced up with the Maul guy, and that was the slow loss. So I had to look at that. And then round 3, this was a nutso battle. Says this battle is nuts. I got matched up with another Maul guy, 9.6 million GP, Nev. Almost 1 million more GP than Loki.
Bloody hell.
But Loki totally switched what he does. It worked. He kept him from full clearing him, Nev. This guy has 9.6 million. That's right.
Million.
Loki beat him by 500 banners.
Oh, nice. Very tidy.
And he even sent a screenshot in to show it because one of the teams that got stuck on. It was unbelievable. Loki set that dude up and kicked his ass. So even though it was a 2-1 from Sir Loki, Nev, that's a pretty nice win.
Hard earned. Sounds like a hard earned 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on to good old Maurice.
I'm really surprised Gom went 3-0 this week. I watched some of the nonsense from Gom this week, and he was doing some nonsense. He should have been not 3-0.
Yeah, that's. I mean, okay, then. So maybe a very interesting week was.
Look at those losses.
Describe it. 2 full clears, and opponents cleared a total of 2 zones. He's proposing a new category for GACenter: wins whilst playing with a self-inflicted handicap. No, Gom, because other people have done that as well, not just you. And sometimes it doesn't work to their favor. Just because you can handicap yourself and still win, but other people can't, no, because you would just win that category. Round 1, auto deploy. He'll take the easy wins anytime. 14 out of 15's down. An opponent didn't even bother. Round 2, in a hurry, forgot to place ships, putting him at an immediate 200-point disadvantage and giving his opponent maximum banners for each fleet. So giving up 200 and 142. 144. No. Yes, it's 144. Oof. Anyway. Opponent is an old guildmate, so attacked while he was streaming. Defense stood tall as Ray held her ground against both Slacker and C. He cleared the top front, took the free ship zone, and called it quits. Gom sloppily got the full clear. Round 3 wasn't able to log in, so the same shipless defense was set for the championship round. Same disadvantage. Opponent cleared 1 team, lost once to 2 others, while Gom efficiently ran through the board as time expired. 3-0 to good old Maurice.
I enjoyed watching Gom this week because he was every time he win with some bullshit, he was like, "Yes, sir." It was so funny, man. The Thursday night stream with Team Money was absolutely brilliant, man. I just had it on the background, just listening and watching him do this. I'm like, oh, he's gonna mess this up, and he won. He's like, "Yes, sir." Representing South Kakalaki very well, my friend.
Okay, you know what happens here, don't you? E-Grace forgot to join.
Shame.
So
Shame.
Is it a shame?
Yes, forgetting to join and forgetting to do a report is a shame.
I'm going to give him a pass because you know what? He stepped up big time for the mini event. And so that's a pass.
We won't play shame for the full length then.
Can't shame him for
just a little bit of shame. Just a little bit.
No shame. No shame. Not when in this situation. No,
okay.
I can't let you do it, Nav. And good conscience. I can't let you do it.
All right, okay. Moving on to Arnold. The Empire did not have as good a week this week as they did last week. He had some struggling. I did watch some of his streams, and the Babu Frick of fleet was just yeah. He just lets Babu take way too much control of his fleet. He really does. He just lets Babu take far too much control. I think it's encouraged by chat. It's definitely encouraged by his chat.
Wow.
And things like this happen. Instead of a 3-0, we get a 2-1.
Just letting
Nice
that sink in.
stats from Dylar.
I was just letting the 2-1, but he gets a pass too because he was busy this week, Nev.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dylar using Twi'lek tactics. It's sexy, it's hot, it's 3-0. It was full domination. So he says 3-0, but the reason I paused there, Nev, is because this is the first thing he said to me. BDE there, Ranger. Really? That's what you want to come with me at the first sentence that you want to read? I don't even want to read the rest of this, Nev. He BDE'd me.
Yeah.
Yeah. He won all 3 rounds. You know what? I'm not even going to read the rest of this, Nev, because he just BDE'd me.
He BDE'd you.
Yeah, look it up, Nev. See what it means, and you'll know why.
Is this one of those American/Canadian things?
Look up the acronym BDE and see what it says, Nev. I just want to see your reaction.
I can't because I'm on the show keyboard.
Do you want me to read what that means, Nev? Do you want me to tell you what it means?
Enlighten me, educate me.
Big dick energy.
Ah, right. Okay. So he BDE'd you then.
Yeah.
Okay. Dialogue.
Do you think he deserves me to read his stats after BDE and me?
Well, there might be something in there that
No, he pretty much kicked the crap. He pretty much kicked the crap out of his opponents.
He kicked the crap out of his opponents, did he?
Yeah.
No weaknesses in there that people can exploit for future battles.
No, you can tell by the stats. It was total and full domination from Dylar. He was using the Twi'lek tactics to his advantage, so just throwing that out there. But Dylar, if you're going to BDE me, don't. Because then I'm not going to support you. I'll support the Twi'leks. They can do whatever they want with me. I mean, I'm not against that. Darth Talon can have her way with me anytime.
Yes,
but
Darth Talon can.
Yeah, she makes me feel funny when I used to climb the rope, like I used to climb the rope in gym class there, Nev. So so it's very delicious. So, but yeah,
that brings up the table, and we only have 3 people with undefeated records so far. Zylar,
easier said than done.
Zareth, Dylar, and good old Maurice. I mean, Solo technically didn't get beat. He drew, but he lost the round on GP difference. So technically, he didn't lose, but the loss goes in the RL column because them's the rules CG made. I mean, they do need to change that. I wish they would. There has to be a better way to deal with.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes, there needs to be a better way. There must be a better way. CG, please come on. You did a great job rebooting the divisions. Come up with a better way to settle a defense. You've got to. It's the one thing left that needs to be resolved. Anyway, we are going to take a pause, and we're going to have a break so that we can see the wonderment that is the clip reel presented by Andy Beads, and you get to see all of the little clips that the competitors have put out there for all to see.
Just die. Thank you. Whew. Okay. Yeah. All right. What? Whoa. What just happened? What? Uh-oh.
Oh, I took in the wrong trooper again. They did this yesterday, or 2 days ago. What is my problem? No, this one might actually be a loss.
Illuminated Destiny. Big hit. All right. Illuminated Destiny, right on time. Let's get some work on True over here. Give him the healing immunity. Excellent. That should be good for auto and drink. Extreme element. Sometimes you work, sometimes you don't. I don't get it. What's wrong with you?
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. For thoughts and acknowledgements, hope you enjoyed that clip reel.
I was actually sitting there and I'm like, where's the clip? I didn't get to see the clip. I was like, oh no. Oh, well, that sucks.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes we get to play it live. Sometimes we get to play it live.
I
Anyway,
know.
we had some wonderful subs. We had a raid. We even got a raid towards the end of the show from Swampgrass 420.
We did. Thank you.
420. It's always 420. Somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the world, it's always 420. I mean, it's going to be 420 somewhere in the world in 6 minutes' time. So, yeah.
I know, right?
Thank you for the raid, Swampgrass. Thank you for the sub, Ranger. We had some follows from several new people. One from Lauren, which is always nice.
Yeah.
And I think we had a great show. I mean, the complete reversal this week. Some people who had great first weeks had absolutely horrendous bad weeks.
The one with Warrior, really, I was just like,
yeah,
wow.
the Warrior one, yeah. I watched. He had no idea that he was taking in Death Trooper rather than
How did that
Dark
happen?
Trooper.
I got to go back and watch that. I haven't been.
They're both relict, right? They're both relict, and they're.
Sure.
I mean, maybe he, maybe he needs to start wearing glasses. I don't know.
I don't know,
The look on his face when he realizes he's done it for a second time. The hat was down. He got up. He was back. He was like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to win this. And he quit. He ran away. He pulled out. He was not happy with himself. I mean, he was annoyed when he did it the first time, but when he did it the second time, I didn't see him do it the first time. I didn't catch that, but I caught the stream where he did it the second time.
That's incredible, man.
I'm watching it, and I was literally, it's like he's doing it again. He's doing it again. Does he realize he's doing it? And the Death Troop. I mean, because the Death Trooper just.
Well, that's what's so shocking is because he's one of the most knowledgeable people on SWGOH. I mean, we have him on Jedi Academy. Dude knows his stuff. It's just you're shocked.
I thought this was going to be. I really thought this was going to be his season because season 2 was kind of like his learning because he'd only been back in the game. He'd only just got all 4 of his GLs, and he was learning what works on 3v3 and what works on 5v5, what you put on D, what you take on O. So this 3-0 is really going to hurt him, especially with 3 people at the top of the table. I mean. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say winning the title, it's gone. You cannot win. Cannot win. You cannot lose 3 battles over a period of 3 months and expect to finish top of the league. I mean just if you look at the Premier League, everybody that was in the top 4, nobody lost 3 that were in the top 4. Nobody.
I was 5th and I lost 5? I mean, that tells you how crazy
5,
that. Yeah, I mean,
lost 5 and you were in 5th.
That tells you how crazy it is. I mean,
it's tough at the top. It really is.
It really is. I mean, and shout out to everybody that's undefeated. I mean, we all know that things can happen. There's no control over certain things that happen. You just have a bad week or something. But yeah, it's hard to be undefeated. That's why people like Mort and Calvin and others that are continuing on their win streak. I mean, Grid's on a nice win streak as well.
Oh, yeah, Grid's on a great streak at the moment.
But I can't put faith in it because I'm just waiting for the shoey to happen.
Yeah, as soon as the shoey
happens, then it goes down the toilet because his fans are going to demand the shoey, and then as soon as that happens, so it's just a matter of time.
But hey, it'd be interesting to see how one of our new competitors does. Heathen. What did he say that he had a very long unbeaten run?
94, man. I read that. I was like, I can't verify it, but that's crazy.
He has. I mean, all of his previous streams are online, but like I said, when you're in a table with a bunch of other people, it's extra pressure.
Yeah, because
You've
then
got
you know
all
that
the
other people are
extra
watching.
pressure.
Absolutely.
And that extra pressure, I mean, you've got extra pressure from streaming it anyway.
Yeah.
There's because you're putting how you do your Grand Arena out to the world. Any opponent can go back and watch your tactics.
Sure.
They can see how you use your characters. They can see what your squad makeups are. So it's always going to be that extra, that little bit harder for someone that streams or someone that posts. But
Absolutely.
you add to that competing in a division against other content creators, and it's a little bit extra pressure. So we'll just have to see how things go. I mean, take Bulldog for example. Bulldog holds the current record, 72 undefeated run. This
Was he
season,
4-2?
he's lost 72.
Yeah.
He
So,
went
I mean-
all of season 1 undefeated. Right? So far this season, he's lost. I mean, he lost in season 2, and he has lost twice now already. We're only in the second week, and he's already lost twice. So sometimes that streak can just go on and on and on, and
Well,
then you come crashing to the
yeah.
ground.
It's about adaptability as you keep building up your teams. And did you build up the right teams? Are you able to adapt? Those kind of things play into what you're able to. Be interesting to see people like myself and others that are about to get General Master Kenobi in Division 2 and Division 1. What does
that is going to throw a whole new dynamic.
Plus, on top of that, I've got
division.
Cat getting ready to come out, and I got Bad Batch I'm ready to throw out. So, what is that going to do for my GAC? You know, does that give me an advantage? Does that not give me an advantage? I would say it would give me an advantage with General Master Kenobi and Cat and Bad Batch. By mid-July, we'll be in 5v5. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, these are the things that happen. Are you able to adapt? Are you able to change your roster? Are you able to mod correctly and keep up with what's happening and take advantage of those situations, right?
Yeah.
So
and we've got 5v5 coming up, and
Yeah, I
that's
know.
a whole new kettle of fish.
I mean, I'll have my General
3v3
Master Kenobi pretty much on its way to onto Ultimate. You know, so I should have it done by then.
You're going to have there's going to be a lot of competitors with a full-on, ready to rock and roll GK and Ahsoka by the start of 5v5. Oh god, 5v5.
Well, not Ahsoka. She won't be available till the mid-July, so we'll be into like second week. It's 5v5.
Second week.
But what will happen then, right? I'm still going to be Division 2. So if you throw that into the mix of what I already have, that's going to make things interesting. And it's ever evolving, ever changing. What can you adapt to? What are you facing? Those kind of things, right? Because if you have C, and I run into a lot of people that have C, Jedi Master Luke, and SLKR. Okay, you got C. You can use it against one of my Jedi teams. Can you use it against both? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So what do you do then? So again, it throws a monkey wrench into the works of what's happening. So I'm excited to see how this all plays out once all said and done. This is the perfect storm for GACenter because we've got the perfect storm of all these teams and characters coming in over the next we do 4 months.
It's 3 months for this season. Season 3 is 3 months long.
3 months. So it'll be interesting to see what that transpires into victories for people because they're going to have an easier time. If you have 4 GLs and your opponent only has 3, or you also have 3 GLs, but you have Bad Batch and Ahsoka, that's going to change the dynamics of what this represents. So I'm excited to see how everybody adapts and overcomes all this stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, we've come to the end of our broadcast. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Ranger, do you have anything to add before
push those
obvious?
Push those goddamn buttons or never
goddamn buttons. I will push those goddamn buttons. Thanks for watching, everybody. Toodles.